Hey everybody, it's Art with A-Bird Freedom Support here at Havasu City, Arizona. That magazine is empty. This rifle is 100% safe and clear, but more importantly, let's make clear what we're going to go over today. This is a Ruger AR-556. This is actually a great, out-of-the-box, budget-friendly AR that actually performs. This one has the heavy profile barrel, but you want more. Just like in the old days when I was younger, guys had 69 and 70 Novas, and they were budget, small block Chevy 350 cars, but you could turn them into a hot rod, or you can make them a street rod. So today, we're going to do the same thing with this Ruger AR-556, and I'm going to break it down not only with what I would just put on here or add to this or subtract from this and then change for this, but more importantly, I'm going to go ahead and give you the why behind it. I am not going to give any prices on any of this. I don't want any strikes. I'm not actually physically going to change this rifle. I will walk through each of the upgrades that I would make to this rifle first. And then later, if this video gets enough traction or if there's enough hate in the comments, because I guarantee you somebody is not going to like this. Why? Because everybody has their opinion on why the way they do their stuff is always the best way. Great. If you don't like what I did, go in the comments and tell me why, specifically what component that was changed, what component you would use. But let's, instead of just banging on keyboards, eating Cheetos, and drinking chocolate milk, let's go ahead and make ourselves make sense. So, out of the box, you've got the A-pillar front sight post. That's this, by the way. And you have a flip-up rear sight. This rifle functions just dandy, just like this. I know, somebody has already decided that it must have an optic. And that's great, that's your opinion. But remember, we're doing this budget-friendly. We're going for performance of this rifle the way it is to start, then accessorize. Okay, so first and foremost, straight out of the gate, of course, we all know the good old carbine handguards, they should go. But why should they go? They should go to allow you the flexibility to have M-lock or quad rail if you want to set quad rails in there. I wouldn't do that. I'm going to cover up the price. Instead, I would come in with the B5 Systems handguards, because Ruger has already gone and slimmed down these carbine handguards, so they're not big, they're not obnoxious. I would go ahead and I would come in with the B5 system. They are a more shooter-friendly, in my opinion only. Remember, this is what's important. I know already somebody's like, I like Magpul. Go in the comments and tell me why the Magpul handguard would be better than the B5 Systems carbine handguards. Okay, we've added our M-lock. Now we can add our light. We can add your laser, your chainsaw, whatever it is that you want to add. And dimensionally, we haven't made the rifle bigger. One thing we have done, though, that possibly not a lot of people stop and think about, is these, even though these are a smaller profile in size than a set of standard mil-spec or GI style carbine handguards, they're lighter even than those. So we reduce a little bit of weight because maybe we're going to add some Picatinny rail, maybe we're going to add a flashlight. Great. You now have that ability to do it. It's kind of like upgrading the spindles and the A-arms and doing a little drop on the front of a Nova. You're just trying to make it handle better. And that also gives you the option to add whatever wheels and tires you like. So we're going to keep bouncing back to that premise of the Nova AR build. If this video gets over 1,000 views, okay, so that means go ahead and share it around. I will actually tear this rifle down and I will build it up and actually show the physical example if this video makes 1,000 views. Okay, great. So everybody with the old Novas, you had that steering wheel with the straight arm in the middle and the honk, beep, beep. The horn was in there. Great. But a lot of people pulled those out and went with a Grant GT steering wheel. So to afford better control of the firearm or of the Nova, okay, I'm going to go with the Type 23 pistol grip. This is all going to be budget friendly, as if you were doing that adapter in your Grant GT steering wheel from good old Pep Boys. So this is going to allow me a better grip, more control when I'm lining up and getting that good shot going. Okay, great. But maybe the ride sucked a little bit, right? Okay, yeah, your leaf springs in the rear, your coils up front, so on and so forth. And you just want a little bit more comfort while you're enjoying that better handling, as well as that that setup, that go fast setup, let's say, with that front end, with that forward handguard, right? Here's where I come in again. I do like the B5 systems. No, I'm not sponsored by B5. No, they don't send me anything. I actually reached out to them to maybe get a test and review a couple pieces of furniture, and they said they don't do that. But I like the B5 Bravo. It's a stop mod buttstock. Let's just call it what it is. I've got two different ways to run a 2-point sling with a loop. I also have my QDs. It's adjustable. Nice rubber butt pad on the back. I can get that better cheek weld, and it just looks cooler. Okay, so we've made it a little bit more comfortable. We made the ride better. Maybe we did a spring pack. We added some shocks. We did all that. So now it rides better. Woo! Handles better. Woo! Now we want to make it faster. So now let's go into the heart. We're going to go right under the hood. No, we're not going to go in for big cams and headers and everything right away. What we are going to do, though, is we're going to make it respond faster, snappier, and give it more top end. How do you think we would do that? Okay, that's great. I actually like the Rise drop-in triggers. I'm covering up the price tag. This is the RA140. Okay, so obviously we're going to ditch that cast iron intake with that Quadrajet carburetor. Might as well rip out that distributor. Let's go ahead and go Excel. Let's just knock it out of the park, right? Excel. We're going to give it the Edelbrock Performer intake. We're going to get it at Edelbrock 1405. We're going to get a big air cleaner. We're not just going to flip the lid over. So what that's going to do is that's going to give me a shorter, lighter trigger pull with a crisper reset, which is going to give me that acceleration. It's also going to give me a faster trigger. We're getting some speed out of it, right? It's going to respond better. So that's going to be that amped up ignition system. So yeah, building out a budget AR is a lot like building out an old Nova. Okay? So in a nutshell, that trigger is going to allow better control to get that nice straight pull to the rear without disturbing our sights on the target, so we're going to be more accurate, right? Yes. If we could also get a better cheek weld, we can get our eye relief to the iron sights for now. Like I said, if it comes to it and this video goes over 1,000 views, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe right now. This video with this little rifle somehow makes it over 1,000 views, just going over some basic upgrades. And everybody knows this. It's not a secret. But more importantly, I want to get people, not just my customers, but everybody to start thinking about why. I have customers with collections of furniture because they tried something without knowing why. Some guy on the internet said this is the best buttstock, and then they got it and they didn't like it. So now I get that better cheek weld with that B5. I got that better control. I'm more comfortable. I got a better place for my forward hand to go with that new grip. I can even put my Picatinny rail, put my flashlights, put an angle foregrip if I want to. It's going to drive a lot better. And that's going to allow me to feel the performance that that trigger is going to be able to give me with every round fired or every gallon put in the tank. So in a nutshell, for real this time, in a nutshell, that's just a quick way to break down the analogy of maybe when you were young and broke, like we all were, and you got your hands on a Nova or a square body Chevy half-ton pickup with that small block 350 and that turbo 400 trans, and you wanted to build it out just a little bit. You went suspension, you went steering, you went intake, you went ignition, you went fuel delivery, and that got you the performance that you were after on your budget. On your budget. Not everything has to break the bank. Everybody has been art with A-Bird Freedom Support. Like always, you might recognize me from such videos as Timber. That's right, the DS Warrior first FTX video. That's right, took that double stack 1911 out. It's also not super fancy and budget friendly, and I don't think I'm upgrading anything on it for quite a while. So, hope you all enjoyed it. If nothing else, hopefully got you thinking about some of the upgrades, not so much accessories. I might just do a little breakdown where I give my opinion and thoughts on upgrades versus accessories, what they actually are and what they do. Hopefully this helped. Maybe you're out there with that budget rifle and you've got those Daniel Defense or those Noveske Dreams, and you've got that Ruger AR-556 wallet. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't be ashamed. Make the best out of what you have that works the best for you. Let everybody else worry about everybody else. And that is where we're leaving it. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead, put all your hateful ass comments in the comment section. Don't worry, I read them, I reply to them. So if you think that I'm just full of shit and none of this matters, put it. Do me a favor, put also why these upgrades on a budget would or would not do what they appear to do. And with that, everybody, stay safe, stay American, keep your heads on a swivel, out.